Hey everybody, this is Luke with Res Tech Studios, and I'm here to showcase the landscape auto material that I've been working on. I know that there's quite a few auto materials out there on the marketplace. However, mine is very clean, the low instructions, and it's very performance oriented, especially when it comes to large scale landscapes. So I just want to go ahead and dive right in here and show you what's going on. So under landscape materials, we have auto material. Here I have our master and our instance, so we'll look at the master. So if you're familiar with my other work as far as the landscape master material version 2, um, the functions and all that stuff are very similar, if not the same. So you'll be you'll know exactly what's going on with these nodes and how they function. The biggest thing to realize is now I have macro variation per function layer as opposed to it being globally controlled as before. So now each material you'll be able to do macro variation for each individual material. If you are not familiar with my landscape master material version 2, you can check out my other videos and I kind of go more in depth about these parameters and how to switch out textures on the fly and changing the color of textures and stuff like that. So in this video, I won't be going over that. So I've added 2 additional layers with this material. I added sand and I added snow. And the meat and potatoes of this entire material is right here, where I added the auto slope function that I created. I also gave the inputs to be able to also change the angle of the material as far as the angle at which a texture starts, as well as the sharpness, the way it blends as well. So that's all right here. And everything else is pretty much the same as far as the procedural foliage and the tessellation. So taking a look at the material instance really quick. Like I said, if this is unfamiliar to you, you can look at my other videos. However, if by looking at this, you'll be right at home. It's all very similar. All the parameters that change are all right here. Nothing too different. Between 18 and 23 is the macro variation. Again, that's for every single material that has that. So the up here, the auto material functions is the function that I added. That the 20 number is the number of blending. So 20 is the blending of between 2 textures. If I were to put this up to say 50 or 100, it's going to make that line very, very crisp and it just won't look very natural. But you can play around with those numbers to get a result that you desire. If you go like to a 10 or a 5, something along those lines, you're going to notice that there's going to be a long transition of blending before the actual full-on material. So the minus 7.7 and minus 8.5 is the actual angle at which each one of these materials actually start. So this is a very touchy number. So if you were to change this, you want to go in 10th increments. So as opposed to 7.7, you go to 7.8, 7.9, or 7.6. You don't want to like add on like 10 or 5 or something like that, because what's going to happen is it's going to blow out the texture and it'll just be one giant texture as far as that's concerned. So just be wary of that when you're messing with it. So let's go ahead and start a new landscape. So we're going to start a new landscape. Let's go to 16 and 16. Create. Let's go ahead and change the lighting to something a little bit more natural. So we'll go to 8. We'll change the temperature to 4500. Movable for all you open world fans. And we'll go Cascade Shadow Maps. We'll go to far distant shadows at 4. And let's add on a skylight. Perfect. And let's just change this a little bit like that. And also change this to movable. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's click on our landscape. Let's add our landscape. And it should turn black here. And we're going to go to our landscape. We're going to go to paint. Let's just add on all of our layers. And one thing that I like to do is once I get all of my layers in here, I like to just click on the landscape one more time and just bring in the the material just one more time. All right, so now what I'm going to show you is something that I've added is some alpha brush maps. So the traditional way of sculpting is just using the circle thing. So, but what I added was the ability to do massive landscapes that mimic what you would do in World Machine or in World Creator by creating certain types of brushes using the alpha maps from those programs. So when you go under sculpt, you have the circle tool brush. So you're gonna go up here, you're gonna go to alpha. You're gonna notice it says texture and it has brush. I added 6 brushes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll start with number 1. We're gonna go to tool strength, we're gonna put that at 10. And under brush size, we're gonna put that at 20,000. And I'm gonna show you what happens with one keystroke. So basically, we're just going to just click one time on the landscape. And there you go. I just created a massive mountain with one click of the mouse. And as you can see, the way the blending works. So I have my rock layer, then I have blending down into my dirt layer, and then finally my grass layer. So the auto material is fully functional and working. So all I have to do is just make another one right next to it. Let's just click, boom. And another one over here, just like that. Simple, easy. So let's click on another brush here. So we'll go number 2. And instead of 10, let's go to 5. Actually 4. So what we can do is just click, and we want to make some hills. So because the brush strength isn't so high, you won't get mountains. You'll get more of some hills, just like that. So something definitely more organic doing it this way, and you get some very, very beautiful results very, very quickly. And this also works. So we're clicking. So let's go to another, like a brush 6, and let's bring this to 10. And well, actually, we'll go to 5. And so if you hold Shift and click, it'll indent, and so you can create some ravines just like that with no effort at all. So now you get these ravines. You can fill it up with water, whatever your heart desires, whatever you're looking to do. It's all there for you. Very simple. One thing I do want to mention though is, so if we have our tool strength set at 10, our brush size, if we set this too high, if we go to like 50,000, you got to keep in mind that you're basically blowing out the alpha map. So if I click it, it's very large, but what's going to happen is you're going to get this like stepping effect. So as you can see, you get this like weird stepping effect. It's not a huge deal. What you can do is you can just use the smooth tool and smooth out some of that that you would need. But as you can see, it kind of just does that almost like a canyon type of look. But again, you can modify it in any way that you want. However, I noticed that a good number for the brush size is not to go over 20,000. If you don't go over 20,000, it's generally a really good result every single time. But just wanted to let you know about that. So again, if we go like to 20,000 with that same one, it's not as big, but it looks a lot better. So, yep. So that's a simple tool. That's for you. Now you can paint on all the layers that you see here. So let's change these brushes down to something reasonable. And for instance, let's do dirt here. So let that shader compile. I also added a snow layer as well. So as you can see, we can paint on some snow. Pretty basic stuff. Snow I have is all nice and super shiny. Looking good. You can see there. So good, nice fluff going on. As well as painting the pathway. So let's go with dirt and paint a little pathway. And I'll show you how this works with the grass maps as well, because we do have procedural grass. So get a little path going. So I will show you how to do some procedural foliage now. So under landscape material, under foliage, you have auto material, you have grass and grass 2. So we'll click on the grass one. And I incorporated these grass meshes from another pack that's on the marketplace. This is not included within this pack. The pack is just for the material, but this is showing you how to add your own grass meshes or whatever meshes that you would want. So we'll go to grass. And as you can see, grass procedurally generated only on the grass layer, not on this layer here. So the grass is procedurally generated, not up on any of these rock surfaces or anything like that, just on the actual grass itself. So if we wanted to, again, expand on this path, we can keep going like that, nothing. And then same with snow as well. If you add snow, sorry, wow. So if you added snow, it's the same thing. It does not actually create grass on that snow layer. You can see here. So it's all right there. One thing I did do is the paintable rock layer I actually left where snow can or grass can generate, because it gives it a really good organic look. So if I were to, bring some rocks in with the grass, walking this path, I mean, it looks very natural looking with the grass kind of going around the rocks. Looks really good, as you can see. So I also added a sand layer as well. So let that compile there for a second. As well as a foliage removal tool. So let that compile as well. So gives us the ability to just remove the foliage where we don't want it. But same with the sand. For those beach goers, I was requested a lot of sand texture, so I added the sand. You can see here, so no foliage goes in the sand. There you go. And let's just say that for whatever reason we didn't want foliage on this rock thing right here. We just want to get rid of it. So you just click and drag, and as you can see, the foliage removal tool works. Just click and drag, and it gets rid of all the foliage that's in that area. If you wanted to add it back for whatever reason, just bring out the foliage removal tool. You can hold shift and click back over the area, and it puts it right back. Just like that. So all that is there for you. Just leaving it up to you. You can also use the alpha maps that I use to create these. We can also do that with our texturing as well. So to do that, you can go to our circle brush here under paint, under alpha, and it brings up the same brushes. And we're able to texture the same way with those maps. So as you can see, it's a little bit different as far as the circle is concerned. So we can actually just bring up the brush size a little bit. So you can do splotching and not so much of a pathway. So you can just splotch it up. This is probably a bad one to use. Actually, we can use something like this. So do that. splashes it up, removes the foliage that's on the layer, so it gives it a good nice effect. So yeah, there you go. Look for it on the marketplace. It should be out there pretty soon. I should be submitting this probably sometime mid next week, I'm thinking. So take a look. Thanks.